All right. What is going on, people? Who was first tonight? Let's see. Old Vin Man and Oscar duking it out, but Vin on top. Troy, what's up? Fernando, Joel. Got a new member in the house. What's up, Frank Gonzalez? Welcome to the membership. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. That is awesome. Thank you so much. What's up, McLovin? Born Free. Got all these beautiful people in the house. You guys all came back after the New Year's Eve festivities, huh? I tell you what, I needed all of yesterday to rest after staying up till almost 3 a.m. here with you guys. And that was a late night, but that was super fun. Thanks to everybody who showed up and hang out late with us. And hopefully I didn't embarrass myself too much. My cap is straight, yeah. It's a good weekend in football. Niners got the 1 seed. Michigan won, which I believe I called. Nobody else believed me. But, yeah, what's up, guys? BB, Jeff, Sideshow, Christopher, Richie, KYP is in the house. Paulie V, Connie, Robert, Vince, Elevated, what's up? Chris Rose, Yogi's here, Ricky. Man, there's lots of people in this house already. What's up, guys? I was lit. Oh man, I had to go out big because now I'm back on the wagon here, trying to lose weight again. So let's see how long the New Year's resolution holds. But I had a good holiday. I think I took care of business, had fun, got out of my system. I'm ready now. So yeah, Northwest 49th again, Dallas 2 seed. Yep. GDC was pretty good today. Yeah, real good day today. Up 21 plus 7 cents in after hours. So if you bought low on GDC, you're doing pretty good. John Cresson, good evening from sunny Southern California. Good to see you. What a wild day in the markets, huh, guys? Especially how it started. First day of the markets, Dow down 200 to start, and then I know it didn't finish there. It did finish slightly green, I believe, but still, NASDAQ was down over 200. Pretty crazy. S&P was down. That's do I have a headache? No, I don't have a headache. I just have it's a little cold here, so I'm wearing my beanie. And feel cozy. But yeah, it's interesting. The market's starting red. Start the year off red, and Bitcoin's just going nuts. Bitcoin is up 1,500 as I speak right now. In fact, let's pull it up right here. So there's the futures right now. Dow slightly up, S&P and NASDAQ down. NASDAQ way down again. Looks like all those tech stocks are taking big hits. Down here, GTII. I mean, it could have been much worse. At one point, GTI was down almost 4 cents today. Finger just barely doing anything. And let's see, this is without extended hours. Wolf down 10 cents. NVOS has been getting crushed. I'm still watching that. GDC, though, great day. And now I'm watching this new bull. We'll talk about that in a minute here. But bull is very interesting, and I'm watching it closely because I think there's some potential there. And then, of course, I've been watching this since Sam started talking about it, the ZJYL. So these are all the stocks I'm watching right now. I always watch AMC and GameStop, even though I'm not in them, just because I think it's very interesting to see the indications from them. They kind of are the leaders of the meme stock thing right now. Now let's go after hours, and we got GDC up 7 more, Bull up 17 cents more, Wolf up a little 4 cents. Finger untouched. I see no movement on Finger, but CNBC's been wrong before. Anyways, just a very interesting first day. And if we go to crypto over here, you guys will see that Bitcoin's just going nuts. So hopefully that rolls over to Wolf soon for those of you in Wolf. And I was in a little bit of Wolf, but I couldn't take it anymore. I was down too much. So I got out for now, but I do think there's something coming with Wolf for sure. Wolf was up like 50 cents in pre-market today. Then it got killed. Randy, second month member, great platform, informative. I thank you, Randy. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot to me. Yeah, thanks for subscribing, and I hope the member content is worth it for you. What's up, Timinator? Good start. I had a good buzz going. I had more than a buzz going the other night, just Mike. I wasn't sloshed. I wasn't schmammered, but I was feeling really good. Han was very positive today. He was. That was great. What's up, Donna? What wonderful people. Scott, am I going to cry when the Niners lay down on the ramp? No, because we already secured the 1 seed, so this game doesn't matter. You got Ravens win it all? We'll see, man. I think we beat them if we play them again. We still got we're good. They're very good though. They are scary. Northwest, my portfolio started red and finished red another day at the crime office. I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, Ham says DJYL, his buddies that he's talking to said the people they know are going to want it to run to 30 grand, which, I mean, that'd be interesting to see. It might be worth just buying one share just to see that, right? At 250. But the word on the street with ZJYL is that it's got a very low float, and it's completely owned by and people know who owns it. They've have it confirmed that it's all way owned, or the float plus some, so they're completely controlling that by holding on. And he said nobody's selling till it gets in the high. Originally he said 10,000, now he's saying 30,000. So split the difference, maybe 15,000, maybe. I mean, that's insanity. But it's not like it's trading all that much. I mean, look at that volume, 17,000 today. This thing's barely trading. It's just crazy. And it hit 300 at one point today. What's up, Amby? Jay, Ham hasn't said details about GTI other than obvious 450 million shake it. Well, I don't know what Ham can or can't say, so I wait until something happens, and then we'll see. Ramon, thank you for the membership. With current earnings, do I see us going to 6? You mean in Finger? I think it's very possible, especially because I think Finger, when it gets their earnings in a week, well, actually about 10 days now, I would say between the 12th and 16th, expect earnings. So 2 weeks, 10 days, somewhere in that range. I think earnings are going to be a blowout, and I do believe we're going to be hearing a dividend soon. Whether it's right at earnings, before, right after, somewhere in there. Not legal. Happy New Year to you, sir. Hope you had a good one. Were you telling lots of jokes late into the night, not as the ball dropped, just joking it up? What about the ETF crypto? I don't know about ETF crypto. What's my view on GDC with Ham's prediction? My view on GDC is it is definitely bouncing back in strength. I know nothing about the company. I know that Univest ran it up to 44 back in May. And I know the person Ham keeps talking about owns 1 million shares. And I've talked to people about that behind the scenes. And I've confirmed it. I haven't seen the balance, but I've confirmed through hearing other things that a lot of people are very excited about it. And so apparently there'll be a run soon, and I hope we see it. I bought back in a little bit today. US1, good evening. Congrats to Michigan. Yep. Roll Tide. That was a good game. Brett, apparently Lynn did not have a New Year's resolution to stop committing felonies. We don't have to wait till next year. It's coming. Richie got a share. I like it. ZJWL. WV, what's up with the GTI rumor? Nothing new on GTI. Just keep watching this week. I think this week we still could see something. So it's only the first day. We got 3 more days. Honey Badger, Nick, what's going on? Rum Dog, Alabama should not have been there to begin. Yeah, well, you can call it karma. They were winning that game. Finger, ESK, did I pick up that trash Ham threw on my front lawn when he drove by? Oh, man. Ham was, he drove through North Carolina today, but he was 3 hours away. I wanted to go see him, but I had to work. You own 9 shares of ZJWL. Nice. Wow, Donna. Good for you. I hope you get that big number. I really do. It'd be amazing. Just to get any kind of win, right? Be incredible. What's up, Robert? Michelle, good evening. Am I going to post the Epstein list? No, you can go to Twitter for that. I don't want to get busted off YouTube. You got to be careful with those things on YouTube. They will get you for anything they consider you just a little bit off on the information, because they don't like that stuff being out there. But Yeah, that's interesting, huh? Epstein stuff. I expect a lot more on that to keep coming out the next few days. I did see what Aaron Rodgers said today about Jimmy Kimmel. That was wild. I can't believe that came out on ESPN. And then Jimmy Kimmel responded. He was pissed. So we'll see. We'll see who's right, I guess. ZJYL's the only thing greening your portfolio. Nice, Corey. Short swing, small victories, we win the war. Absolutely, Frank. I love it. Sub Haas. Good evening. Big JR, what's up, man? Welcome back to the GDC Club. I know. I just can't quit you. I had a conversation with Ham over the weekend, and anyways, after talking to him, I decided I was going to get back in a little bit. Jordan, is earning coming out for GTI Finger and Finger? Yeah, Finger in about 2 weeks. So do you think they'll push the price down? I mean, they're going to try. They're going to try whatever they can as long as it's going to last. So just expect that. But at the same time, Finger could have enough people buying in to push it up. Just like over the summer when we went to 7. I think Finger will have a good month. I really do. I think GTI is going to have a good month. So far, I mean, it's only the first day of trading of the new year. Still can't believe it's 2024, right? But already we're seeing that whatever was going on in 2023, the market, that crazy rally from November through December, we can already see that it looks like it's over. It looks like there's corrections coming, and I'm gonna show you some things here in a minute. But I will show you this though to start. This is what I woke up to this morning. Did you guys see this on the 1 month bond yield? This was absolutely insane to wake up to this morning. It corrected itself not long after this, but the bond yield went from 5 up to 6, a whole dollar up. It flashed this. So if that's not a trigger sign showing you something's going on, remember, people say these things glitch. I don't believe it for a second. These computer systems are the most advanced in the world. They don't mess around with trading. They just don't. These things have backups upon backups upon backups. Their computers are better than anything you and I can buy on the market. Their servers are the best. They don't have glitches. So when a glitch comes, quote unquote, it's usually an algorithm or something that either screwed up or for a split second something broke through the system and kind of gave us a glimpse of truth before they can clean it up and fix it. So this tells you something. If the bond yield is going to go up an entire percentage point that fast, that means there's something incredibly unstable in the markets right now. So get ready. I mean, also you cannot overstate the fact this happened on the first trading day of the year. It's basically as soon as they turn the system on, for trading this year, boop, just shot up. I mean, that tells you something's going on. Something is definitely going on. I think, I'm telling you guys, they're going to keep it up as long as they can, but something's going to break this year. Something is going to break this year. I mean, this is so wild. So wild. What's up, Jeff? Randy, you're a 49er fan too? Nice. Good band. Yeah, slideshow, buy high, sell low. That's what I'm good at with GDC. How dare you? Happy New Year, Carl. Donald, FSU proved they didn't belong. That I don't know. I don't think you can hold that against them. Because FSU, they didn't have any of their starters. I read somewhere that like 20 of their guys were out and 90% of their yards for the year were out of that game. So I don't think that was even really them against Georgia. What's up, Dave? Frankie? Donna, you got GDC today too? Nice. Jeff, all funds flowing GTI and Finger. Might have to grab some GDC. I mean, listen, I can't predict anything. I can't tell you anything for sure is going to run. But I trust Ham. I like Ham a lot. I trust him. I know he talks to real players. And so when he says something, I take it seriously. I always do some diligence. I look into stuff. But GDC ran before, and that's why I feel like it could run again. And I'm not just jumping into something random. When I bought into Wolf the other day, it's because Wolf had a good history in the last few months. And I thought it was going to have a bigger run than it did. It still could, but I think it's leveling out for now. But anyways, so I'm in, but I'll keep talking about it. But I can't tell you for sure I don't know enough like I do with GTR or Finger to be 100 like really really confident of what's coming. But I can tell you that a lot of people are that I trust. Sub has 244 watch, only 50 likes. Refresh that, Sub hats. Maybe there's more. There might be more. The glitch is I'm not hiding the real stuff. That's for sure, right, buddy? Jorge, Happy New Year, 2024, the year finger GTI squeeze. I believe that with all my heart. I really do. Somebody asked me today, how certain are you? And I said 99.99%. You have to leave that 0.01% because you just have no idea what could happen. But in my personal opinion, I think this is the year. I think this is the year so many things come to fruition. I think this is the year we get the markets are going to correct. They're at a breaking point now. They're just being held together by duct tape and, like lies, to be honest. So much I think is going to go down this year, and I'm happy about it. I'm excited about it. I'm not, it's going to be hard. There's crazy stuff, but we got to go in with good attitudes and fight and just believe that even if the hard stuff happens, it's good for us and where we're at, that we positioned ourselves to be ready. And that's what I believe. So, yeah, too many trades sitting in the queue. There you go. Brett says, I agree. These computers are extremely fast. They can steal retail's money in a nanosecond. That is true. Yeah. Read the book. What's it called? Flash Boys. It's about how they created the super high frequency trading. It is wild how fast they can make trades happen. Jorge, Happy New Year. I think I already read that. Vince, by the way, you won your fantasy 14-man league. You got that going. Nice, buddy. Wow. Good for you, Vince. You're lucky. What do I think about MMTLP, Baker? You guys will get your settlement this year. I don't know when, but the pressure is definitely mounting. In fact, if so many people have signed that letter now at 89, maybe it's over. I think if you guys are MMTLP holders and you're in a district where your person hasn't signed that letter yet, hit them up. Try to get more people on it, but it is cracking, especially with TradeStation admitting they don't have the shares. That is huge. That is huge. Who's going to the Super Bowl? I think it's Ravens Niners. I think the Niners, there's no way we don't go to the Super Bowl now that we're going to be healthy and rested. The NFC is weak. Both the Cowboys and Eagles are not that good. Cowboys, especially on the road, are not good, and they'll have to play us. So we're going to the Super Bowl unless there's an injury, but we're going. Ravens, I think, are by far the best team in the AFC. I will say if they play the Browns, I think there's sneaky upset potential there. The Browns look good. I don't think the Browns have enough to win a Super Bowl, but in one game with that defense, I think they can beat the Ravens. But I'm predicting Niners-Ravens. Jay picked it up now, though. Nice. You got your average down to 70 GQ? That's awesome. What's up, Al? Just Mike going to get one ZJYL. Yeah, just try to get one if you can. I mean, that's $250, which I know is a lot. But at the same time, if it runs to 10,000, if it even runs to 5,000, you made a huge killing on it. If it runs to 1,000, it's totally worth it. 125 GDC this morning. Nice. Moody, thanks for the likes. Thomas, Happy New Year. Heard there might be a settlement in MMTLP. Rumors of 2,500 shares. Whoa. Now that's way more than I would predict. But if you're hearing that from somebody, I mean, that's awesome. I hope you guys get that. Window changes every Tuesday and Sunday. Which window is that, David? Northwest FSU should have played Liberty and Oregon versus Georgia. Committee got the back end of bowl games wrong. Ducks blew out the... Yeah, maybe. I think if FSU had their starting quarterback and all their starters, I think they could have put up a good game. I really do. Etchabowski, besides Alpine shutting down, how would a market correction increase GTI price? Still right. Well, that's a great question, Etchabowski. The theory is, okay, and it's a theory, but I think it's a very legitimate theory, and Ham agrees with it. All these guys who've been on Wall Street, Pedro agrees with it. And Pedro and Ham have very differing opinions on how this will work, but they both believe it'll happen. If the market goes into a severe correction, say 2008 levels, all the liquidity dries up. All the liquidity dries up, and what happens is every single bank and broker will be margin calling the snot out of shorts because they will be desperate for liquidity. And what it'll do is it'll choke out everybody. So at the very least, what it'll do is, even if they don't have to buy in right away, what it'll do is it'll stop the shorting. It'll absolutely put a immediate cease to it. Okay, because these guys can't do it without borrowing money. And once that ceases, the price starts climbing up, and then the margin calls can keep coming in higher and higher at the higher prices, and it'll blow them out. It'll blow them out. There's just no, once the market goes down like that, unless you're a short seller with deep pockets, you can't survive in it. You have to pay out. Especially because these guys are underwater. You got to remember that they're underwater and they're trapped. They're not like regular shorts. All right. They're not regular shorts. And so that's the big difference. And because GTI and Finger are not going to crater, they're just not. So that's what'll happen. Also, with all the, in a market crash, that's the one time where they will tell everybody to stop all the nonsense, the manipulation for a short period till it goes back up. Remember in 08, 09, they stopped all short selling on bank stocks. I could see a bigger ban temporary happening this time because it's so messed up. Chris, maybe you sell Palantir, load up more on Wolf, Finger, GTC, and buy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on Palantir right now, but Shane, I hope you're right. What makes you think a possible dividend with Finger? Because people I know know Finger very well say that they're pretty close to pulling the trigger on that. So, Big JR, your news resolution is to no longer make news. I like it. Ricky, Ace, do you think Wes will fight for Discovery for GTI? I don't know. I hope so. I'm laying down my hopes on lawsuits and stuff for now until I see something else interesting. Chris, you're hearing the same about MMTLP? Wow. MMTLP and MMAT the same? I don't know all the differences. They're different but similar. Ham was quiet today because he's traveling, guys. He's on the road. Let's get the band back together. You guys like that picture? T, the U.S. sunk 3 Houthi boats in the Arabian Peninsula. The Iranians launched one of their major warships. I don't think it's going to affect the market right now. What'll affect the market is if we all out, if oil gets stopped up, that'll affect the market. If we declare official war, that'll definitely affect the market. If we get much deeper into a skirmish, that's going to keep us in there for a while, even if they don't officially declare war, that'll affect the market. But just little fights like this, I don't think, the way the market is right now, I don't think it'll affect it. I agree with you, Seda. I don't know who would pay that $2,500 a share, but Not Legal says, take my opinion, all the 4-figure MMTLP settlement figures are not based on fact. So that's Not Legal. And I tend to agree. I think 4-figure settlement for MMTLP is very, very wishful thinking. But you know what? We can hope, but I just wouldn't plan on that, guys. You believe that, Etchabowski? Okay, good. I'm glad we agree on something. Ricky, how about if they're using counterfeit shares? You're going to have to give me more context, Ricky. I'm sorry. I don't remember what you're talking about there. Al, you bought 100 GTI today, dropped your average to 77 cents. Nice. Thank you, KYP. Smash the likes, guys, if you don't mind. Just Mike, your New Year's resolutions, quit losing money. I think this is a year, guys. I really do. Immortal GDI to 1,000. I agree. Northwest, looks like ASRE got their gens witness verified and certified. Huge catalyst. That's exciting. Yeah, Steven, ask your question. Just throw it up there, but please give context if it needs it so I just don't forget, okay? Receipts for what, says Eugene, of government audits. Oh, so the government audit guy wants to know receipts, of course. It would be the receipts are figuratively speaking. In other words, they got to pay what's due for all the fraud they've been committing that we've been fighting them on and waiting it out for. That's what I mean, Eugene. And I believe 2024 is the year that happens. It changes on Tuesday and Sunday, not Wednesday. I'm sorry, David. What are you talking about? What changes? That's what I've not catching with you. Over 200 million counterfeit shares. Finger, squeeze them. $100,000. I'm happy. Yeah, buddy. I still believe with very, very strongly that we're blasting past 1,000 these stocks. I'm not going AMC person. I'll never be that guy who's like 10,000, 15. I heard 50,000, a million, like Al from Boston. That's asinine. But $1,000 is not hard for a stock to run to when it's going through a squeeze. We've seen it many times, and we'll see it again. Bunny, no one's paying $2,500 for MMTLP. I do think that's hard to believe. Old Finds, in my opinion, I think China goes after Taiwan. They might. I heard a really good case about why they might not the other day. I can't remember all of it. I was listening as I was doing some stuff, so I wasn't like engaged listening, but anyways, I remember thinking that the guy was making some really good points. So let me pull up something here, guys. We're talking short squeeze stocks, and we were talking like people talking about GameStop and AMC. There's a stock I found today. Actually, I've been watching this for a few days. It's not just today, but something very interesting going on over here, which looks like a similar setup to what was happening with GameStop. And it's this bowl. So it's Bolero Company, and this guy's been on it, and I've been watching carefully, and it definitely has been moving. So today, 6,500 call options. But here's what's interesting. The short interest is listed right now at 85%. That's nuts. And on top of that, today it was listed that there's no short shares to borrow. As you see here, 0 shares available to borrow. Listen, this is what you would call a traditional short squeeze setup, that nobody's talking counterfeit shares. Nobody's talking naked short trading. This is just what it looked like in GameStop before it ran. Same sort of deal that was setting up. Doesn't mean anything's going to happen. I don't know, but it's just, and I hate throwing another thing at you guys, but you know, I just know some of you guys are, I want to not talk about this if I didn't think that it was interesting. You guys know I barely ever bring other stocks in here, but it's called Bull. And as you can see today, I mean, it was up 47 cents. Oh, I don't have it high enough. Hold on. Sorry, guys. It's up 47 cents today, and then another 17 in after hours. All right. Just really interesting. It's moving. I believe it was, let me go down to the 1 month. So, I mean, you guys can see this, this stock was just down around 10, and it's just been slowly creeping up. But anyways, it's just something to watch. It's $15, so might be a chance to make a little money while you guys are waiting on something else if you have anything extra. I really don't have anything to put in it, but I want to throw it out there just in case. I'm not that kind of guy who usually goes chasing stocks or looking at many stocks. But this is the first one that's ever really popped up through what I'm following outside of Ham and all those guys lately. And I just thought I'd share it tonight because I thought it was interesting. And some of you guys are looking for stuff, so it might be something to look into. Anyways, I brought that up because we were talking about short squeeze setups, and that's exactly what you want to look for. So in like GTI and Finger, the fraud is so insane that like a lot of that's covered up. But this is, I mean, 85% short interest is crazy. It really is. We never received our dividend for GTI. I know, we're still waiting. Do I agree with Mike Roach on the SPY? What? Aha, you're funny, Moisey. Nice try. I almost said that. I almost said the other way. Frank, MMAT is not the same as MMTLP. MMAT NASDAQ company, Metamaterials, MMTLP's ticker for preferred share, formerly known as Torchlight. So there you go. There's the difference. Thanks for sharing that, Frank. I was not quite sure on that. What's up, Zechariah? Would you miss restart from the beginning? Okay, I'll start right just for you. Your message is just above the last one. David, I cannot see the message you're talking about. It got YouTube disappeared. Sorry. Steven says, with law enforcement knocking down doors to these hedge funds, how is it possible when New York stock market has no one in there? They're working from home. How's it done with these? That's a great question, Steven. What I would think is that it's not going to be like they just slam open a firm's door and everybody's there. It's not going to be like 50 guys there, like say in like Wolf of Wall Street or something. What I would think is they know that, and what they'll barge down the door of is they'll actually go to these guys' homes. Okay, once they have subpoenas for them, or a small place like Lynn Partners, maybe they do have an office where 5 of them are there. I don't know, but that's what I would guess is that, they're smart. Law enforcement, when they finally go after somebody, they're not going to make the mistake of showing up to an empty building. That would be my thought. Ramon, does Finger rise leading up to earnings after? I have no way of knowing, Ramon. I wish I did. I do think there's a chance it starts running up next week, though, ahead of it. What's up, Robert? Go Cowboys. Well, as long as you guys don't play on the road, you can win games. Chris, Bull Insider Financial talk about today. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Chris. I am looking at bullish. Yep, bullish. Optics. Until people with guns and badges move against counterfeiting, 2024 will be a repeat. I disagree, optics, and the reason I disagree, the reason I disagree is because I think that we've reached the end of what this market is capable of doing at this rate, and so I truly believe that a major market correction or a crash would be enough to break our stocks open as well. So I think there's two avenues right now majorly on the table for us to run soon, which is a law enforcement angle and the stock market being in trouble angle. The other thing is catalysts that could come in that we don't expect. Finger could have a massive catalyst with a deal done with Univest involved. GTII, if it got the Treno mine deal done, it could be a major enough catalyst, bring enough buyers in. So there are other things out there that I can't point to right now and say this is 100% happening. But as far as like the law enforcement, I think will happen. And I also think the market correction's coming this year. I just don't see how they push it out another year. It is so bad right now. So that's why I think optics that 2024 is just not going to, it's going to be our year. They're not going to escape this year. Does Ham like logic? I don't think I've never heard Ham talk about logic or CAUD. Zachariah, don't go chasing stocks or waterfalls. Yeah. Stick to the streams and rivers you should. Thank you, TLC. That's funny. No GTI Wells. I know, it's been for a while now. 306. What's up, Saber? Just got on. What'd you miss? You missed so much. What are you thinking showing up so late? Come on. You can do better. Apollyon, Bull, GDC, ZJL, and me without my finger GTI money. If they're still around afterwards, we're all going to wreck those shirts. Yeah, we will. Absolutely. You know, I get it. I don't have much money to buy into other stuff too. I just had a couple $100 I was moving back and forth. So DTC will pay the MMTLP. I hope they will. That's a lot of money. I mean, let's see here. So I've heard there's 630 million shares to cover in MMTLP. That's the number I'm hearing. So at 2,500, that's $1.5 trillion. Is that right? That can't be right. Yeah, those are millions, those are billions, those are trillions. Yeah, so 1.5. So I don't know. I don't know how they do that. Dustin says 2,500 MMTLP price, not what you think it is. Mark Bazil threw out that number out there for whoever takes TradeStation to court for them to demand that number and try to get it from. Oh, I see. Okay, that's interesting. That is a little different. Wicked, remember FBI caught the guy who stole $3.5 billion from drug dealer's site, so I will hope. Yeah. The FBI, it's not the agents who are bad, okay? It's not, not most of them. FBI is huge, like 40,000 people. I would say 5,000 of those people are corrupt. 1,000 of them, it's low number, but it's the controlling people there. The rest of them there just want to do their job. And so I do think that some things still get done from the FBI that can be good because of that. Dustin, question, do I remember about 1.5 months ago I asked if you would sell Finger GTI because I was in that UAW strike. I vaguely remember that, Dustin, very vaguely. Why? What happened? Billion Bitcoin. Ace, when stock crash, I buy UVXY. Which one's UVXY? I don't think Ham's saying hello today. He had like a 13-hour drive. He's exhausted. You'll have to listen to William today for him. Sabre, you'll go back working 60-hour weeks and train a bunch of probies. Missed a lot of streams. 60-hour weeks, man. That's rough. What do you do, Sabre? Northwest, you saw my band photo? Let me pull that up. The Mike keeps making these photos, and they are so funny. Getting the band back together. My only problem is my head is way bigger than everybody else's in this. I'm just not a big fan. 316 in Belgium. Hey, Chris. Get some sleep, buddy. La Liga, you think Wells Fargo knows GTI is broken? Exactly. That is exactly why they're not selling it. They don't want to mess with a stock like that. They know it'll just screw them over. Happy New Year, Mark. Joel, you have 6,000 GTI. If it runs to 1,000, you have 6 million. I mean, no, you'll have. No, dude, you'll have more than 6 million, right? Or am I doing this math wrong on that? I'm doing the math wrong on that. Because at 100, you'd have 600,000. Yeah, you'd have 6 million. Yeah. So, Clark, you don't know anything about MMTLP. Is it worthwhile? You can't. Clark, if you're new here, MMTLP is a company that was about to have a massive short squeeze, and FINRA, subsidiary of the SEC, halted it from trading over a year ago, and they have not had access to their shares since. And we're talking 65,000 plus investors, and it's one of the biggest crimes that's ever happened in market history, if not the biggest. And Congress is breathing down the neck of the SEC because of it. So no, you cannot buy into MMTLP. I'm sorry, but it will be a great victory when it's finally settled. And those people are going to be buying into a lot of other plays, and I think it'll start a domino effect if it gets settled early enough. Rumdog, you have 6 months left to beat your dad when you retired at 57. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's get you out of there before your dad retired. Wow, 57, that's pretty good. Joel, you have 1,000 finger every Friday, just a little bit more. Nice. Saber, anyone that watched Ozark shows the difference between agents and the admin. There you go. That's a great point, Saber. Randy, what's going on? Reading on GTI and Wells Fargo. Please explain. Wells Fargo just won't sell people GTI anymore. They haven't been selling it to them in months. So if you have Wells Fargo as a broker, you cannot buy GTI. That's what people are talking about. Ramrod, don't buy meat at a butcher shop owned by mobsters. Okay. I'll trust you on that. Just Mike, I had to make your head that big to cover up Dana White's huge rod. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. He's got a big one too. Or is Ham still going to? Yeah, Ham's still going to Korea. He doesn't know when yet. His son has surgery in a couple weeks, so send some prayers up for his son. He's got a lot of health issues. After the surgery, Ham is going to plan his trip. And as for the Secret Service, Ham will tell us as soon as he can. But he said that they're supposed to be calling him this week. He said after the first of the year they'd be calling him. So he said he's waiting on that now. So. Dustin, you sold $5,000 a finger, held your 9,600 shares of GTI, financially survived the crash. No. Nice, man. Yeah, keep telling me more. Strike over, cash flow back. Good. Cougar, your face should be next to Jay says, never sell Palantir, number one AI company in the world, into 10 years. In my opinion, 10 years largest market cap. That'd be crazy if you're right about that, Jay. I haven't been following Palantir, but I'll have to look into it more. All right, let me show you guys a few things here. All right, so this goes back to last year. I don't know if you guys remember this, but last May, I did cover this when it happened. The compliance concerns DTC to apply 100% collateral haircuts, zero value to all securities issued by affiliates of LLC lenders effective today. All right, so remember that they were cutting all this back. And this was a big deal when it happened, and we just hadn't seen anything from it. Okay, but remember, all the big banks are listed on here, okay? All the big banks. So they cut this, and now this is what's happening as a result. See, this is the overnight reverse repurchase agreements the Treasury Secretary sold by the Federal Reserve. And look at like you can't see it right here. Look at that dip. This is the pink is since this went into effect. Okay, so they are not able to sell like the treasuries to these guys like they used to. It's just going, it's dipping like crazy. So this is a liquidity drain on the markets. So pretty crazy. The crackdown's working. Again, another reason why what we're seeing is fake. I'll share that in a minute. All right, so everybody's buying into short bond yields now, which is one of the reasons we saw that spike. 62% of investors, 62, that's a big number, guys, expect the bond yields to fall, pushing the bond prices higher. Just 6 months ago, only 10% held this view. That's a huge increase, 10 to 60% in just 6 months. Put this in perspective, even in 2008 and 2020, we barely saw 40% of institutional investors expect bond yields to fall. So there's 20% more of institutional investors. In other words, the big time investors, the guys with lots of cash who do this for a living, or just have tons of cash to put in and do other stuff for a living, but this matters to them. Anyways, 20% higher rate are expecting this crash than 2008 and 2020. All his markets are pricing in double the amount of rate cuts compared to Fed guidance. Fed pivots, understatement. Look at that. I mean, it's nuts. Okay, November 08, right? This is a 40%, just barely breaking it, and now we're up here. Guys, this is getting nuts. This is getting crazy, and this is the first day of trading of the new year. So just remember this stuff. Like, it is going at some point. All this comes together. It's got to pay the piper. Okay, I'm telling you. This is a January effect. User refer to investors selling stocks in December to realize losses for tax purposes. Now, the January effect means investors selling stocks in January to delay paying taxes. It's a long way down. You see the differences here. January effect 2022 down, and yet here we just kept climbing. So when's it going to come is the question. It's just nothing makes sense, guys. Nothing makes sense. It's all crazy. I'm telling you, this is the year the receipts come out. This is the year that it comes due. NASA, if Finger spins off an inactive division as a special dividend, all shorts will carry over to the new company. I highly doubt they'll do an inactive division as a special dividend. It'll probably be a special dividend, restricted like what we did with GTI. Clark, so if FINRA can do that to MMTLP, why can't they do that to any other stock? So Clark, great question. Obviously, you're obviously new here. That's great. I'm happy to talk about this with you. FINRA, they pulled what's called a U3 halt, which is only allowed in very, very extreme situations, and it's never meant to be permanent like this. I mean, we're talking over a year now, or indefinite, I should say. And it's supposed to be a quick halt to volatility, protect investors, everything. But what's happening now is it was illegal what they did, and it's very obvious it's illegal. And the SEC is under great heavy fire because of this. The Congress is starting to really crack down on FINRA about this, and on Gary Gensler, SEC. And the deal is that when this happened to MMTLP, first let me backtrack. Number one, I don't see it ever happening again with this kind of pressure on FINRA because they are being watched so carefully right now. So that's number one. So that's why it won't happen again. Number two is MMTLP at the time was, first of all, it was never meant to be traded. Okay. It was fraudulent that it was trading in the first place, but they put it on it was a spinoff that was supposed to be private and not traded. They put it on the broker apps and put it public to be traded to give the shorts an out. All right. But what happened is everybody held it, and the shorts got trapped again. Well, then MMTLP was going to go back. They were pulling back the spinoff to go back to private where it was supposed to have been all along. They were pulling it back, and there was supposed to be 2 days of trading left. Well, in that trade, because it was going private, it theoretically should have squeezed the shorts in that time. And so the squeeze was imminent. And what they did is they halted trading early. So they got to use that excuse of the big deal of MMTLP coming off the market to be privatized, that as the excuse of a major event to protect investors, quote unquote. Well, GTI, Finger, these other plays, they don't have that going on. They are just going along as companies, being regularly traded, operating as usual, and their stocks, they're not pulling them off. They're not doing anything weird with them. FINRA has no cover to hide if they wanted to pull them before the squeeze. There's nothing there. So number one, what FINRA did last time was illegal. They're under major heat right now and scrutiny. SEC's under scrutiny. They can't afford to do it again right now while being watched. And again, I don't think ever again. Number two, they don't have the same excuse or covering to lie to everybody to pretend it's a big issue to make it happen. So that's why I don't see it happening, Clark. And those are big deals. And honestly, I don't know one person who knows the market way better than I do that believes they could do it again. So just telling you. Dustin, your friend coworker loaned you $2,000 to pay off a loan against your 401k. You just took a self loan for 50% of your 401k. Plan is to. Here's the question. Would you rebuy Finger because it's lower than when I sold, or smash the F out GTI? Drop a Thor's hammer on your 130 average. Man, I can't tell you what to do, Dustin. First of all, I could get in a lot of trouble if I actually gave you advice on that. But what I would say is that both of the prices right now are incredible deals. Incredible. And if I had $3,000 to $5,000 or more to put in, I would probably split it up pretty good. I would obviously grab a handful and maybe not split it up by shares, but split it up by price. That's probably what I'd do. So I'd probably, since GTI is so cheap, I'd probably put like, say I have $5,000, I'd probably put 2,000 in GTI and scoop up a ton of shares, get that average down, and then go scoop up the rest with Finger to get, because the price is higher. So leave a little bit more for Finger, but also scoop it out. So if I had $5,000, that's what I would do. So, that's, you can do with that what you will. Rum Dog, you've been working 68 hours a week for the last 16 years. Any advice how to slow it down gradually to survive the transition? Rum Dog, I have no idea, man. 68 hours a week for 16 years, though, that's unbelievable. I don't even know how to do that. The only thing I could tell you, Rum Dog, is that if you could already start finding time and maybe get that down to 50, maybe you need the hours. So I don't know how to help you there, but I would at least start transitioning your mind to go back to rest. And then when you get off, stay active. If, you get all that money to retire. Brett, Ken Griffin, Seafood, Jamie Dimon, and Gary Gensler are a drain of liquidity. That is true. Oh, the Ace Rambo picture, Mike? Yeah, that was a great one. Let me track that down. Clark says he's never taken the time to look at MMTLP, so all this does is solidify what I already know to be true. There's so much criminal activity in the stock market. That's very true. Man, my chat stopped working. Hold on a second, guys. I got to go look on the actual YouTube page and see if I'm missing stuff. I am. Look at all these. All right. Mark says federal government's gross national debt surpassed 35 trillion. It did. I know, it's insane. Is there any relevance to any of the stock market? Is it just all? It is almost all criminal activity. You're right about that, Clark. But criminals aren't perfect. They don't have infinite resources, and we can break them if we're smart and stick together. Jay, I have not seen questions from you, man. The last comment I saw from you, Jay, was the Palantir comment. So if you had other questions, please post them. I'm happy to answer. But I've only seen your Palantir comment. Yeah, Mark, the box office was great this year comparatively, but it's still way down from where it was before COVID. So I'm not too excited for theaters yet. Finger earnings should be they're listing the 5th for Finger. That's really early. I'd be very surprised if it came out Friday. I think it's going to be the 12th to 15th, but let's see. Oh, Clark, thank you, man. That means a lot. I appreciate you. Does that mean I earned a subscribe from you? I got a new subscriber? I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So Public said the 5th for Finger as well. Wow. Okay, I've not heard that. So that's very interesting. That would be awesome if we got earnings early. It really would. I don't think anybody's expecting it there because we don't have any buy-in really yet. So that's just really interesting to me. But okay. Wow. That's pretty fascinating, honestly, that it'd be moved up like that. And maybe the brokers know something. Maybe Finger gave them a heads up. It's very possible. Let's see here. Eric, any of my personal friends on the Epstein flight log? You saw my buddy Bill in there. My buddy BC. Good old Billy Clinton. Yeah, that's not true. That's not true at all. Oh my God. How dare you, Eric? You might be on there. I don't know you that well. I didn't know you before the last couple of years, Eric. Are you trying to prepare me for a shock? Is that what you're trying to do? All right, Mike, I'm trying to find that picture, buddy. But you've been posting a lot lately, so I'll share it because the Rambo one was great. It was actually, I think the Rambo one was one of my favorites too because it was perfectly proportioned. Although you might want to get another headshot of me because you've been doing the same headshot, and we mix it up a little bit. My cheeks are really big in that one. Um, all right, I'm looking here. I think everybody deserves to see your handiwork. You do great work, man. Jeez, bud. I'm going quite a ways back. Do you remember when it was? You posted it? All right, I'm going to find it. Hold up. Hold up. I think I'm getting close. I forgot you did this one. Brock Purdy. I'll share that in a second. I know you guys are all fascinated. Half of you are like, we don't care. Sorry. Where on earth is this, man? I'm having trouble finding it, Mike. Will you just send it to me again on Twitter? And then I'll post it? Because I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, even the Brock Purdy one, when I clicked on it, it didn't pull. It went to a different thing. That sucks. I'm sorry, bud. Can you just send it to me again? I'll post it. I don't want to take up all day looking for it. Scale of 1 to 10, how effed is TradeStation? I mean, in order for them to give it up like that, to actually admit they don't have the MMTLP shares, they got to be in trouble. Honest, they have to be in trouble. That, but maybe also they'll escape because they're honest. I don't know. Maybe by being the first to deal with it, maybe they might get out on it. Kilby, do I have a prediction for ZJYL? He almost choked on his on what Ham said. Yeah, man. Listen, that prediction is insane for ZJYL, the 30 grand. But it makes sense if it is a bunch of institutional big time investors who have plenty of cash. If they're all holding it and they own way more than the float, it makes sense that they could push it to wherever they want. If it's a small float too, it would mean it's affordable to the brokers. Affordable is, that's a relative term, but they could at least cover it. And I mean, I'd be shocked to see it go that high. I really would. Anything with those kind of numbers, but just because of who's involved with it, you got to think it's possible. I'd say highly unlikely, highly improbable, but possible. But if they're gunning for 30 grand, I mean, I think it'd be easy to say we could see 1 or 2 grand. That should be pretty easy. And this isn't like a finger GTI short squeeze, guys, because you remember, I mean, it costs $250 to buy it, so the percentage rise is not there. I mean, even if you bought right now at $250 and you got 1,000, you just got 4 times your money, which is good. It's a good trade, but it's not like GTI going to 1,000. So, you got to weigh the risk there. But based on who's in it, I would say that this probably will run sooner than the others. Although who knows? I mean, where we're at right now, everything's so volatile. So I personally might move some stuff around and try to just pick up 1 share just to see what happens. But I don't have any predictions myself though. Clark, how much financial runway does GTI have before it goes bankrupt? Oh, they're fine. They're GTI is like a cockroach, man. It has literally almost zero overhead. The company could survive for years at this point still, even without any new deals or anything. So, Clark, you don't have to worry about them going bankrupt anytime soon. Eric, all I have to say is don't believe anything you hear about me in the news. I guess it depends on the news source. Schwab says the 5th also. Interesting. That makes me think that Finger might have moved it up. Big JR, watch earnings dates. Many brokers estimate earnings dates based on previous years. Just FYI, huge companies announce dates. So that's a good point. Thanks, JR. Last time Finger didn't announce it, and last time the brokers were right. So So that's to be remembered too. Do I think GTI will squeeze before XRP goes up? I do. Yeah, I do. I still think XRP has a while to go. XRP's real value doesn't come until the BRICS figure out their currency. And once they get a currency that's separate from the dollar and it's up and running and it's really going, that's when XRP, in my opinion, that's when XRP shoots up. FINRA felons instigating nefarious retail tax. I like it. I like it, Ramron. Tommy B, we should all open TradeStation accounts. I don't know if we can, but that might be a good idea. Mad Max Bull shorted a whopping 84%. Yep, institutions owed 100. Yeah, I forgot to mention the institutional part, Mad Max, so thanks for sharing. But yes, you're right. I shared the part about the 85% on Bull. It is very interesting to me. And it's not too expensive. A Sublime poster? I like Sublime, but Sublime's not my favorite. I have like 5 songs of theirs I love, but I'm not. I came from California, NorCal, so I know they were big like Santa Cruz and stuff. I wasn't one of those Sublime heads though. I love, a lot of their songs, but not enough to have a poster. You think it'd go well with my other stuff? This is more like movies and TV kind of stuff. Rum Dog, taking your Costco dividend and buy more GTI next week. Nice. Clark, you've given up the notion. Think we're actually going to hold these people accountable. They've got so much. Well, Clark, you got to. My opinion is this. I can see your point in the way you're thinking because it does make sense and it's hard. It's very hard, but I can't afford to think like that because if you think like that, if you make an excuse for one thing, you got to pick your battles. And so maybe your battle's somewhere else and that's totally fine. For me, this battle is personal because it's stealing from my kids and it's making it impossible to be a great regular investor in America's economy right now. It just is. And that's unacceptable to me. That's against what our country is. And I love my country. And so I'm fighting for it from a personal level, for my future, my kids' future, and also the future of our country's markets, to be honest. Because if we break them, it changes everything because they have to rebuild. And this time they have to rebuild without being able to do so in darkness because the internet has changed everything. And so my personal opinion is once we go through a big change, things will be better at the other end. And they don't have so much money. That's the big lie. They have money, but they're also so over leveraged that money can be gone like that. And it'll come to us, those of us who fight and stick this out. And so all we can do is fight with the best knowledge we have. And I saw you mention AMC. I get it. AMC screwed you. I get it. But AMC didn't lose because the shorts. AMC lost because their CEO bailed out the shorts. Their CEO did everything to undercut shareholders at every opportunity. That's why AMC lost. But there have been wins. GameStop was a win. There's been other smaller wins. Overstock won by fighting back. It took years, but they did it. And so it does happen. And I think in this next market correction, there's so many retail people who are educated and involved now that as so long as a company doesn't screw its shareholders over, there will be multiple wins in the near future. And that's I believe that, and I'm going to fight for that. And even if it doesn't happen, at least I can say I saw it through. But I've gone over this a million times at this point, and I just don't see any way we don't win if we don't give up or if we're not screwed by the companies. But we really believe we're not going to be. So based on the history of these companies we're working with. By the way, here's my Rambo pick. Thanks, Mike, for sharing this. Maybe tan me up a little bit to match these biceps but that's a perfect fit, bro. That's a perfect fit. I love it. That's so funny. And then you sent me the Purdy one too. Doesn't quite look as good because Purdy's got a baby face, so this just kind of looks freakish. But I like the hat. The hat goes well. I like it. But I'll leave it on Rambo right now because that just makes me feel tough. I love it, man. That's so funny. You did so good. All right, let's see here. Jay, Ace, you don't want to bother me, but you and I need to talk privately about breaking our stocks out, mass media awareness. Want to discuss marketing? Oh, okay. Jay, I'd love to talk, man. Do you have me on Twitter? Or here, I'll put my email in here. Guys, also, if you've been writing my email, I'm so sorry. I haven't checked it in like 3 weeks. But there's my email, Jay. Hit me up. Or DM me on Twitter. Sublime came to your hood? Wicked? That's awesome. Cantrix, don't buy the rumor on XRP. Why would BRICS nations want to rely on American base? I don't know. I mean, in Cantrix, I have a lot of research to do on that, so I'm not making anything 100% right now. Jack, you got profits on GDC today. Well, awesome, man. Congrats. Mad Max, many short squeeze plays back in 2021 squeezed early 2022, including AMC. That's very true. Wait. Oh, AMC. I thought AMC squeezed in June of 2021. Was it 2022 it squeezed? God, has it been that long? Dustin, something you don't understand. XRP, if its utility would be applied to BRICS and go against USD, wouldn't it an anti-American thing to trade? Well, Dustin, my thoughts are this on that, is that anything that is American traded right now, until they clean up our markets, I don't owe the markets allegiance. I owe my country allegiance, but I don't owe my markets allegiance. I owe my family the ability to make money. And so if I'm going to do that through trading through the BRICS, it's not like they're using it to go to war against America. That would be, in my opinion, kind of traitorous. But if they're just using it to transact, I don't see any issues with that from a anti-American perspective. Jay, you can reach the other side. No way do I have ham connection. I have some important ones. I would love to talk to you about this, Jay. I think that'd be great. You Googled it. NASDAQ says 116 for the earnings. So that sounds more normal to me. Between 12 and 16th is what I was expecting. Mike should do one of me on the Pete Townsend album cover. Oh, man. Fight for the right to party. There you go. Not legal. Nah, what was your drink of choice on New Year's? I just want to know. Rambro? Rambro. I like that, Robert. Eric, you sent me an email 2 weeks ago, a life-threatening issue. No. Well, Eric, that's your fault because you have my number and you should have just texted, bro. Come on. Use your brain, man. That's funny. Bull, 0 shares left. I know. I'm very interested in what's possible with Bull. Here's something else I wanted to share tonight, guys. Where is it? Hold up. Oh, did I go away from it? I think I went away from it to show you guys Rambo. All right, I gotta go back. 1 second. 1 second. All right, Unusual Whales posted this today. This is fun. Their yearly report on politicians trading. This shows you how much they care about us. Look at this is the names too. So this is politicians trading and how much they're up on the year. A good trading year for a great investor, not a day trader, I'm saying just an investor, is a great year is like 20 to 25%. That's a great year. Average year on the S&P is 10%, and all of that is good. This guy, 239%, Brian Higgins. Got a couple Republicans coming up next. Mark Green. I don't know any of these guys, so that makes me feel better. Then we got Ron White in here. Here's Pelosi, only 65%. She's just not she's just not doing a good job this year on her fake trading. Susan Collins, that doesn't surprise me at all. Total rhino. I don't know a lot of these other names. Oh, Dan Crenshaw, there he is. Old cyborg, 38%. So, these guys are making good old trades on there. This is funny to me. Tommy Tuberville is the one they go after the most on this stuff. The media does. And he's only at 17%. So, but we don't hear about these guys. They're just killing it. Marjorie Taylor Greene's right here. Here's a SPY up 25%. So these guys underperformed and these guys all overperformed. But anyways, I thought that was really interesting. And then he broke it down into party. And this graphic showed me exactly what I think of our government. And I'll talk about that in a second. This year, Democrats dominated the Republican opponents. Republicans underperformed the market. That's funny to me. But this is, and let me explain why this perfectly explains why I think of it. Because I think, in my opinion, Democrats are 99.5% corrupted, destroyed, rotten to the core. 99.5%. They're just, the party is just gone. Republicans are like 65% rotten to the core. Okay, there's that select, maybe it's 75%, but it's in that range where there's 20 to 30% of them are still good, that are for the people. They're not out there, and this perfectly embodies that, because you see, it's like the Republicans are up, but they're not up as much as the SPY, and we saw that other Republicans, it was like 3 after the big Democrat, but you see the Democrats are way up. So who's bought more? Well, the Democrats are a little more likely to trade on their bills than the Republicans. Republicans still do it, but the Democrats are for sure all in on it. So that's why this graph perfectly exemplifies our politics, in my opinion. I mean, it's just wild. Anyways, I had to share that because, just what you need to see, make us all feel good. AA popcorn diluted. Is it diluting another 4 million shares? Holy crap. 3.7 million. He never stops dilution. Adam Aaron's favorite word in life is dilution. That's all he does. Jay, share price after Finger earnings. Heard the same thing. Jay, I think Finger could bump back up to 5 or 6 just on earnings. Maybe have a bigger run. Maybe. It depends on what the earnings are. If the earnings are the blowout I hear they're being, it could push up to 6, 7 again, I think. Just on earnings, nothing else. So we'd be back in that seat where the squeeze could happen, just like that pressure that built up in October. Brian Higgins is a beast. Yeah, he is. AA's a dink. Yep. Northwest photos means Rambo looks like the guy in Olivia Newton-John's video. Oh, God. Let's get physical. Did I? Listen. Olivia Newton-John back then was smoking, but I wasn't born yet when that came out, so this was definitely not me. Things are getting spicy. Amen, Akira. I totally agree with you. Mad Max, I believe the same group of people who own ZJYL is the same group who owned HKD. Really? Well, that makes me feel even better, because HKD went to 2,500, so. Not legal. Diet Coke straight. Good for you. Now, has that always been that you aren't drinking, or has that just been in recent years? But good for you, man. Diet Pepsi. Republicans are 80%, says Eric. So yeah, I would. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if they're 90%. I just know the Democrats are worse. I'm not saying they're a lot worse, but they're worse. Acapulco Gold, no filter. Nice, Keith. Ramon, do I think we'll get another short and distort piece with Finger? Maybe. I think the capybara ruling, though, might have scared some of them away from that. Because the fact that we fought back, well, I say we, the fact that Finger fought back is a big deal. That has not happened very much before. The fact that ruling went in the favor of Finger, I think, is a big deal. I do. Even though nothing's going to happen to that capybara guy writing that, because he's gone. He's in another country. Nothing's going to happen to him. But it sent a message. And I think that message is important. I think those things slow down. Doesn't mean it'll completely stop. No. But I do think they slow down. So maybe it won't happen right for this one. Ram, bro, what are my thoughts on AMC's missing FTD data from October? I think AMC might be the most effed up stock company I've ever seen in my life. That company is so destroyed. Their stock is so destroyed from the preferred share being pulled back in to it being created in the first place. You're talking about APE to the FTDs. But here's the thing. I think AMC is so buggered, like the Brits would say, that there's no going back. They can't fix it. So it could have a run at some point for them to clear some stuff out. But I'm telling you right now, all the biggest shorts in that have been bailed out. And I think that right now it's mostly just a bunch of people bag holding shares that are mostly worthless. And he's going to dilute until that company goes bankrupt, or until everybody's covered and the stock's worth 10 cents. He does not care. Well, not 10 cents. He'll want to stay on the NASDAQ. So he'll say $1. Because he'll reverse split. He doesn't care. AMC is so destroyed that to me, the FTD data doesn't mean anything. It just means he's going to find another way to get around it. Adam Aaron is so corrupt. It boggles the mind. Remember, Ape now was over a year, almost a year and a half ago. Think of all the corrupt things that's happened in AMC since. Nothing good has happened for that stock since then. When I sold my AMC with Ape, the two of them combined were worth about $22 when I sold. They were worth $29 5 days before Ape launched. And now, if you count the reverse split, AMC is worth 60 cents. I know it's at $6 something, but that's because they reverse split it. So it's worth 60 cents from 22 where I sold at down to 60 cents. How is anybody going to make money from this? It's insanity. And I feel for the people still holding. I salute them for still fighting, even though it just seems hopeless. I hope they get a little run and can recoup some money. But I think AMC, not because of the shareholders and not because the plan wouldn't have worked if they weren't undercut, but they were betrayed. They were betrayed by the guy who should have been fighting for them the most. And because of that betrayal, I think they're screwed. I just do. And it sucks. So, but I hate saying that, but I just see no way out of AMC. Jay, you bought a 75-inch QLED 4K. Dang. So you can watch Ravens win the Super Bowl. Oh, man. Well, you watch them lose the Super Bowl, but they will play. So I hope you enjoy it. Hey, mom, dilute his baby formula. He definitely wasn't breastfed. He would be healthier in the brain if he was. Sub has Popcorn Con Man sold all AMC shares, bought Finger GTI by. Nice. By the way, BB Goat is Bird, not Magic. The basketball goat? I never said it was Magic. It's Jordan. I don't know, man. Bird is amazing, but I think Magic might have been a little bit better. You like my style, Microbaker? Thank you. Group of team investors in Hong Kong. Thanks, Mad. I had no idea about that, Max, so that's great. Dustin says, unpopular opinion, AMC's a go. Dilution stops soon. Plan to take a large chunk of GTI profit, hammer AMC average down, ride fundamentals. Man, Dustin, I want you to win. I hope you're right. I don't see it. But I will be so happy if I'm wrong on AMC. I will be stoked. I really will. I want you guys to win. I really do. I don't trust it enough to even try. So, and that's straight from the mouth of Rambro. Rambo was based on a real American soldier named Audie Murphy who fought the Nazis. Really? That's interesting. Not last 10 to 15 years you live in Cali. Why does it matter that you live in Cali? Not. Someone say back holder. Jay, Bird had 4 MVP, defensive player. Bird never won defensive player of the year. He is not. Get out of here. It's better than Jordan. Come on, Jay. That's an easy case to dismiss. Bird could not play defense even close to Jordan. And he never won defensive player of the year. And he won 3 MVPs, not 4. Come on, Jay. You're inflating the stats, buddy. Eric, unpopular opinion. Best athletes of all time are LeBron James, Nick, and Brett Butler. I can't even talk about that. Dustin, I don't trust Bigums. I'm sorry. I just don't. I have reasons for that. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to bash another YouTuber guy, but I have issues with Bigums. Thought we could save Billy. Court just halted the release of Epstein list. Of course they did. Yeah, I agree with Not. I don't think Bird was better than Magic or Jordan. He was close to as good as Magic, but not better. I'd have him just one ranking behind. I think it's really close, him and Magic. But I have Magic a little bit better with the 5 titles. I mean, it's not just one more title than Bird's, too. Private offering. Billy went to the equities. Northwest. If AMC drops to 5, I'm buying more. The XXX000, that's what I feel about the fundamentals, where it's going, still plugging along. I hope you guys, I really do. I will be cheering for it to run. I just don't see it. The Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. That would be awesome. I would love to see the Browns win the Super Bowl. Unless it's, well, sorry. I don't want to see them win the Super Bowl. I would love to see them go to the Super Bowl against the Niners. Because Flacco, that'd be cool. I do think they could beat the Ravens. Bird not better than Kobe. I'm going to disagree with you there. Kobe would not be as good as he was if he didn't have Shaq. Aim see the moon. Jay, Jordan had much more talent than Bird. Bird wins in Celtics. LA save basketball. Bill Russell goat onto I'm Jay. I totally disagree with you, man. Jordan was just a better player. I don't want. We can't argue this here because that's not why people come here. But I would love to have this discussion with you sometime. Well, I will break it down. Basketball is my jam. I used to literally read basketball encyclopedias when I was a kid. I was addicted. So I would love to go back and forth with you on Jordan and Bird. And Jordan had more wins than Bird. He had more wins, more MVPs, more scoring titles. He won Defensive Player of the Year, which Bird never did. He 6 titles. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. I agree with you, though, that Bird and Magic save basketball. I do agree with that. Jorge, Sam Aaron's doing a lot of pouncing on AMC. He is, man. He's a dick. Clark, have I ever noticed there's people who hold GameStop think they're better than AMC holders? GTI, they think GameStop's the only one that can run. I don't know that about GTI thinking GameStop's the only one that can run. I've said that I think AMC has a run in it. I just don't think it has a squeeze in it, like a Moas squeeze. But as far as thinking they're better, one of the reasons I didn't like being in AMC when I got out anymore, and I was kind of happy to get out, is because of that rivalry between AMC and GameStop. I think it's ridiculous. It's really dumb. That has not been in this community, the GTI community. The GTI community, the finger community, is very supportive of everybody winning. And I think one of the reasons is because one of the reasons is less tribal in this community is because most people who've come over here were burned on those other squeeze plays, especially AMC. And they came over because they still believed in something, and they also believed that we could beat a market and finally get a win somehow. They weren't ready to quit everything after AMC, but they were smarter. They knew what to look for more. They knew how to avoid the traps like an AMC, and they really want to come over and just win. And so there's none of this. Well, we'll squeeze higher than you guys, or you guys are hold. It's just dumb. And I was AMC holder for a year and a half. So, and I hated that. I was like, why can't we all win? But I just think this community is much more supportive because of that. You heard AMC works, Bigham's works for Domino's? No way. Are you serious? Who's the best fantasy manager in your league? I am. Because I had the most points, which means I picked the best team. You are the luckiest, Anthony. You're the luckiest fantasy manager in our league. Because I was supposed to smash your team this weekend. You had 2 running backs who didn't do nothing all year and just go off. I don't want to talk about it. It's the hurt is still too near, just like Frodo says about Gandalf. Clark, same short hedge funds and GTI are also in GameStop. No, that's not true. GameStop is much more involved with the big guys like Citadel. That's not who's in GTI. Citadel won't sniff GTI other than maybe a guy here and there, maybe doing some quick short trades, but that is not who's in GTI, bud. It's the vast majority of the shorts that have been counterfeiting and keeping GTI under this long come from Alpine, the brokerage house, and the Kramers who started it, who are the ones that they had the toxic note with GTI, shorted the snot out of it. GTI paid off the toxic note and trapped them. And that is a big, big, big difference. One reason I know this for certain is because Citadel just would not bother to go on the OTC markets. GTI is not worth it to them. It's not. They mess with the NASDAQ stocks. They mess with the big guys that they can destroy, like AMC, GameStop, that sort of thing. They're not interested in little old GTI. That GTI and the OTC market is where the small time criminals go to play. Bird was a go to shit. I'll give you that, Mike. That's true. I hope Gary Gensler, Kiffin, and Adam Aaron are on the Epstein line. Oh, that would be awesome. Clark, you have a question. How many short squeeze events would have to happen in ticker symbols to really hurt the short hedge funds financially? Oh, Clark, I think it'd only be like 3 or 4. I really do. I think it'll just smash them once a couple of these big ones go. You think the physical Northwest? Not legal. If a CEO shows you a scumbag, believe him or her. 100%. That's such a good point. That saved me. I got out of CRTD as soon as Frommer started looking like an idiot, and it saved me so much money. CRTD, when I sold was 65 cents, and now it's like a penny. It saved me on NVOS. NVOS, I bought in at 35 cents. They did a reverse split. It after it had gone down and went down to like 18 cents, then they reverse split, which we all know reverse splits are toxic. They reverse split it. It went up to like 190. And at 170, I had a bunch of people who are they're still in it. And I was like, I don't trust the CEO. I'm out. And now it's down to 70 cents. The CEO rule is a good rule. If a CEO is a scum or an idiot, get out quick. Look at the Mullen one. If Mullen's stock had not been reverse split all this time, it could have been worth $10,000 a share as of last year if you do the math on it. And now it's worth, what, 14, 13? It's crazy. It's crazy. Ace, I'd like to ask this question: stock channels. What would it take for me to believe the AMC play is on? What would I'd have to see that Adam Aaron is no longer in charge, and that he cannot dilute anymore, or if the board or something just put an absolute halt on all dilution at AMC and it was banned from diluting anymore, then I might think about it. Keith, listen, big board stocks won't squeeze like they used to. Looking at SNES. Yeah, it's possible, Keith, but it's also possible that just a big one hasn't happened yet. I mean, HKD was not that long ago. That was a year ago, and that's not that long ago, around to 2,500. TOP last year from, I think it was $4 to 260. That's just a year ago. It's not that long ago that we had some big ones. What's its face? ZLY, whatever the one we're in, ZJYL right now. That just ran from $4 to 500. So these are happening. They still happen. Not legal. Jordan 6 finals, 6 titles sucked. That is very true. He couldn't hit the curve before they threw the curveball at him. He was hitting over 300, but then they figured out he couldn't hit the curve. I think his average was 214 when he was done. Cantrix, great memories of Olivia Newton until you watch Xanadu. That's very true. Bird had the chief. He did. Bird had a monster team playing with them that was much better than Jordan's teams. Top to bottom, they were much better. Jordan had Pippen, and then he had like Grant the first run. He had Rodman the second run, but he did not have the stars of Bird. Bird had Parrish, star. McHale, superstar. He had, what's his face? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe. Bill Walton off the bench. He had, I can't think of the guards right now. This is going to drive me nuts. But his guards were good too. Bird just had a monster team. He played with Pete Maravich on the bench on one of the early teams. He had Tiny Archibald on one of those teams. I mean, those teams were loaded. The 1986 Celtics team might be the most talented team ever. It really might be. It's a great team. They lost one game at home the entire year, and they ran through the playoffs. Clark, you learned something from me. You're wrong about GTI. Oh, no problem, Clark. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for being humble about it instead of being mean like some other people. Not you, but other people have been on my thing before. I'm giving you hope. Thanks, Clark. I appreciate that, man. Not Bird became Bird Lady, who's an FTLP supporter. Pigeon Lady Rover. Manure Bowl. Uh-oh, Knott's on it now. Oh, Manute Bowl. I was wondering, Manure Bowl is kind of funny too. Yahoo shows 13-day signings. That's what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the 12th or the 16th, which is, I think Friday or Monday. Monday would be 15th, actually. So, yeah, the Civil War movie looks crazy, Zechariah. Clark, if Alpine's a small hedge fund, Alpine's not a hedge fund, Clark. It's a prime broker, but it's who is allowing all the fraudulent counterfeiting to be done. So it is a little different than a hedge fund. The Kramers aren't even a hedge fund. It's not a hedge fund's involved in GTI. It's just crooks, like financial crooks. Clark, it's probably safe to say Alpine's they're already broke. Alpine is. They're only alive because FINRA is trying to, not legal. You should watch his channel on this, but FINRA is actually trying to get rid of Alpine, expel them from being able to run trades, and they're fighting back. It's all in court right now. Can't compare individuals to team achievement. That's very true, Rome. How many short positions do they have on GTI? We believe from the counting that's been done the last 3 years of people who've been watching this very carefully. This is not on paper, but we have people who've been collecting the data for 3 years in this stock. And on GTI right now, The short interest percentage is close to 500%. It's like 400, 450%. Northwest was in fourth going into finals of your fantasy football league. Had to choose QBs, Dak or Brock. Choose Dak. He took to first place. Brock struggled, although I like to. Brock only had one bad game against the Ravens. That was literally his only really bad game all year. His other bad games weren't that bad. Kobe would break. Well, yeah, and one-on-one, but one-on-one, NBA is a team sport. You have to play team. Yeah, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge. Thank you, Kilby. Awesome players. Bird was a better player in the NBA because he was better on a team. He uplifted his team more than Kobe did. Yeah, Walton was great. Ace, how can Dems be greedy capitalists trying to make money at their socialists? What? Socialist in name only, Jay. So, Jay, that's a really funny question. If you are a crook, like I believe Democrats are and most Republicans, and they want, but on the Democrat side, let's say they want us to be a communist socialist country. The reason political leaders want a country to turn socialist or capitalist because it ingrains them forever in power and riches, just like in the Soviet Union, just like in China. The ruling class always is capitalist because the ruling class always wants to be rich. Dems are not true believers that socialism and communism is good. They're true believers that they can stay rich forever, and all of a sudden politicians become the most powerful people in the country versus CEOs and all these other people. That's why they're socialists. So yes, are they abusing the system? Of course they are. They're crony capitalists. They believe in using the government to enrich themselves and pick winners and losers. That's crony capitalism, which, by the way, is the system we have. We don't have a capitalist system. Anytime somebody says capitalism's failed, look at our America, look how unfair it all is. It's like, no, it's failing because we're not capitalist country anymore. We're a crony capitalism country, which is where the government picks the winners and losers, and they're all in bed together. And that's what the Dems are loving, and that's why the Dems want us to be more socialist communists, because they'll stay in power forever. So that's why. And that's also, by the way, what I think most Republicans up there are fine with too, because I haven't seen 90% of Republicans fight back against half these things. I just look at freaking Kevin McCarthy and the budget deal he made this. We are $3 trillion more in debt since Kevin McCarthy signed that deal over the summer because he gave Joe Biden an unlimited debt ceiling. So that's Republicans for you. And they're all in it together, except for a small handful of people on the right who are actually fighting to get our country back. That's why. Do I think the squeeze will drag out to the beginning of summer? I think anything's possible, Dave. I hope not. I personally think that the spring is going to be extremely hard on the markets and extremely volatile. Does that mean they won't make it to summer? There's no way to know. These guys are so much more corrupt and go so much deeper. They will destroy everything before they're exposed if they can. And my opinion on why the markets are going to crash soon is because everything's already almost destroyed and it just can't get much more destroyed. Eventually the foundation gets so rotten the house crumbles. Right now, our foundation is rotten. I'm not talking about the foundation of the country. I'm talking about that's the Constitution. That's not rotten. I'm talking about the foundation of our financial markets. Completely rotten. The economy is completely rotten right now. But sometimes it takes a while for a rotten foundation to finally crumble. And that's what we don't know when will happen. But my personal opinion is there's no way it goes past this year. I just don't see any way. It's already so bad. It's already worse than 2008, 2020, or 2020 and 2000. It's already worse than those years. It's worse than 87. And yet the market's still high. It makes no sense. They can't keep this going on forever. Not Horace Grant, Kerr, Rodman, Cartwright, and Pippen. Well, Kerr and Rodman were on the same team, and then Cartwright, Grant, and Pippen, and Cartwright and Grant those guys were not all on the same team at the same time, though. Not. Don't forget when Finger GTI start to run, hold, don't sell for peanut. That's true. Yeah, Clark, I agree with you, man. Learn and get rich. That's the goal. Moose, thank you, sir. And Keith, welcome to the membership. Thanks, Moose. Moose, you're always so generous. And thank you, Moose, for freaking New Year's Eve. You and Big JR blew it up. I got a lot of new members now, thanks to you guys. So hopefully they like it enough to stay. You like my first blood pick, Moose? Thank you. Gotta say thanks to Mike for that. Danny Ainge was very good, Brett. Moose, 20% of East Germany escaped to the West during Soviet control. How many are trying to escape the U.S.? Not many, because here's the problem with escaping from the U.S. There's very few countries that are still better. That's the shape of our world right now. The thing is, in the U.S., as bad as our government is and as bad as they're trying to get, we still are very protected overall because of states' rights and because of the brilliance of the founding fathers creating the federalist system. It made it so hard for the federal government to take over quickly. And so if you're in a red state right now, and still a couple of blue states, but if you're Florida, Texas, South Dakota, even North Carolina like myself, Arkansas, a lot of these states are still very free, especially compared to most of the world. So we're not the USSR. I mean, we're not needing to escape yet. But could we be that in 10, 20, 50 years? Maybe. I would like to think no. I'd like to think our Constitution holds up enough and the people fight back before then. But if nothing changes and the people don't wake up, yeah, that could be a problem. But here's the deal. The people in America are way more awake than anybody in Russia ever was. You got to think that was before the internet. It was before even local TV and local radio, really. There was a little bit, but not much. So there was no information to spread. I mean, one of the reasons the American Revolution is one of the greatest miracles of all time is because it happened in a time where there wasn't much information traveling. The only reason it happened is because the colonists had been apart from the Britain for so long. They'd been able to come up with their own ideas and talk to each other. And the big government, Britain, was not able to stop it. They just let them do their own thing until they came in after a couple hundred years. After those couple hundred years, those people had already accepted freedom, no taxes. They already had the life they wanted. And so they fought back, which is a miracle. Most countries that never happens because top down, it's too strong. It's blocked, it's controlled, state-run media, all that. You see it in China and Russia today and Iran, all these places. It's a miracle what happened here in America. And I believe that miracle is going to persist, and it's why we're going to eventually win. Right now, there's this strain trying to overtake us. It's not going to work. I believe it 100%. I believe we're at the tipping point right now, but there are so many people. I truly believe we're at like 55 to 65% people awake in a country. And really, to fight back, to save a country, you only need 30%. That's what you need, because those people are going to fight back and be active. Then you have a middle people, which is like anywhere from 20 to 40%, who just will watch whatever happens. They don't want to pick a side. They don't want to get involved. And then you have the other side, which I believe in this case is that corrupt elite class and hardcore leftists, those two combined. And I think it's only 5 to 10% of our nation. And they are in control right now. They hold the seats of power, but they won't for long. And that's my personal opinion. I believe the system as it's been built is going to crash, and we are going to rebuild stronger and better than ever, because now with communication the way it is, I just don't think it's ever possible for them to build in the dark again. And that's why I'm so excited for the future. I really am. Is Burry shorting the market? No, I think Burry is buying in. I saw him buying into equities last I saw, I think, but maybe he might be. You almost bought Dange's house, Capkey? That's awesome. Was it a nice house? Bill Lane Beer was great on the Pistons. Good night, Barbara. You need to escape Minnesota, Moose? We'll find you a place, Moose. Fernando, can I speak like Rambo for 10 seconds? He like never says anything. That's the thing about Rambo. It's you don't want to go up there. Why? I can only do like old Rambo in the last couple movies because I don't even remember what he says. First Blood, he has like 5 lines until he has a crying breakdown rant at the end. But before that, it's all just like, yeah. I can do Rocky. That's the best Stallone I can do. Hey, old Paulie. Excuse me, I gotta clear my throat here. You don't know what it's like, Adrian. I'm a fighter. That's what I am. Hey, yo. I'm so lost now. You got me way off track. Ron Harper wasn't that good, not. And Paxson was okay. He was just a shooting guard that couldn't do anything but shoot. Jackson's a great coach. He did have that. You love Wisconsin but don't like winter? Well, you're in the wrong place, Mike. I was born in Wisconsin, by the way. Rum Dog, for all the numerologists out there, 2024 will be the best ever, just like Kobe was the best ever. Rum, you're cracking me up, man. Moose, you like winter, but Texas is most free currently and might succeed. Yeah, Texas is a great place to live. I was just there and I loved it. It was great. And it feels free because that state actually fights back, just like Florida. In Cantrix, you watch the ease of the federal government taking over 2019, currently discussing illegals for the military in exchange for instant citizenship. I know in Cantrix it's terrible, but I don't think it's going to happen. Jay, 3-time NBA 3-point winner, 3-time NBA defensive team, took Celtics from 30 wins to a year to 60 a year. No, you're great. Jay, I'm not telling you Bird wasn't great. Bird was amazing. I think he's a top 5 player all time. I would say the top 5, and this hurts me to say, by the way, because I hate LeBron. It goes Jordan, LeBron, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, then Magic, then Bird. That's my top 6. Okay, so Bird's top 6 all time. And that's amazing. Top 6 all time is incredible. So and listen, I don't even like LeBron or Jabbar, but I'm impartial when I make these rankings because I'm a basketball nut, just like with football. Basketball and football I'm crazy about, and I know all the stats. And I just, as an impartial guy, I have to put them up there. I'm a total homer if I leave off those two. 7, I'd have Wilt, and then 8, I think Duncan, and then Kobe at 9. So there you go. And 10 is tough. 10's tough. I'd have to think about it. If you want to survive war, you got to become... if you want to survive war... I can't... Excuse me. I got to go real deep for him. If you want to survive war, you got to become war. That's funny. 500 grand improvements to... Wow. That's a lot of improvements to a house that should have already been not nice. Michigan winners are no longer real winners. Half frozen. How long's that been? Dirty Harry? You guys are bad. You're going to get me going on that. You know who does Clint Eastwood really well is William. But, yeah. Do you feel lucky? Punk? That's about all I got for Dirty Harry. Do I got Michigan or Washington? I got Michigan going all the way. I think Harbaugh is getting his championship, especially because they beat Alabama. And it's not that I think Alabama is better than Texas, but they're better coached. And they're more prepared for these bowl games because of their experience. But I think Michigan wins. I do Rocky showing up a nudist pill. No, I'm good. Oscar was great, but he was a stat guy. He didn't win that much. If you go look back at Oscar Robinson's teams, they didn't win that much. I think he won 1 title, and that's it. And he won with Kareem on his team. Like, Kareem was the best player on that team. So I just can't put Oscar Robinson up there. I think Oscar Robinson's in the top 20. But yeah, he was, he's Russell Westbrook before Westbrook, or Jason Kidd, whatever, however you want. Not legal. What do sprinters eat before they run? They fast. I like that. Kelly, your soon-to-be son-in-law does docu-series on basketball players on YouTube. Really? I'd love to watch that. Shaq is great. Shaq's probably top 12, 13. Shaq could have been higher, but he just never cared enough to stay in shape all year. So he'd just come in fat every year and play himself into shape. The one exception is 2000, and that year he was awesome, and they won 67 games, and he won MVP. But Shaq only has one MVP. One. As dominant as he was. Now, I do think Shaq was, at his peak, the most dominant center ever. The reason I have him more dominant than Wilt, I'm not saying he was a better player. Remember, Wilt I have ranked higher, but he was more dominant because he did it against other athletes, whereas Wilt was dunking on white guys 6 inches shorter than him. Even Bill Russell was 5 inches shorter than Wilt, which is why Bill Russell was so amazing, because he'd shut Wilt down all the time. But yeah, Wilt was just doing it against guys who were just tiny. Michigan because of their defense. Yeah, I just think they're coaching too. Harbaugh's a great coach. Why did the chicken go to the seance to get to the others? Oh my God. Moose, some guy called me. He says he's FBI. We can get paid to kidnap the government. Moose, you're funny, man. That's hilarious. Jay, you don't mean to be insensitive. Get over it. Your girlfriend burnt you on AMC GameStop. Thoughts on finger after earnings? I think it could hit 6, 7 if the earnings are as high as I think they're going to go. Try side productions. The joke's too good for you, says Keith. That's a not. That's so funny. Wicked, I know America's bad when Ian from 90210 is getting beat up by mini bike kings in LA. Do vegetarians eat pudding? No, you can't have any pudding if you don't eat meat. Mike, that's a good one. I like that one. Chris Knight, one more champion. Well, it's not all about championships, but you have to factor them in. You just can't be a top 25 player, if you didn't ever win, like Carl. Carl could never win. That's why Carl and Stockton and Barkley can't be top 25. They're close. Hey, babe. All right. I'm almost done. My wife wants to see me. She's home from work. Northwest, in the early days of William, go back and forth Clint Eastwood. Now William's not laughing. I know. He said he's got to learn how to laugh again. We got to help William laugh. Get off my lawn. Harbaugh to the Bears. Maybe. I think the Bears coach kept his job, though, after this last run. So I don't think Harbaugh would go there. Birds give out Halloween tweets. Oh, my God. I think on that note, it's time to go. My wife's here. Hour 40 I went tonight. I love you guys. I'm going to take off. Tomorrow, let's just keep watching what's going on in the new year with the markets. Pretty messed up. It's getting weird. But earnings come for Finger soon. I think GTI might announce some this week. I think good things are coming, guys. We're in 2024. We're out of that nonsense of November, December. They got their stuff done for taxes. I think it's going to be really interesting going forward. So I'll continue to be here. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, probably a little later. And then I'll be back Thursday around the same time, all right? So anyways, God bless you guys. Have a great night.